This new channel reached over 37,000 subscribers with only one video, and if you follow just 3 simple steps... Okay, hold up. Does this sound familiar? You've probably come across dozens of videos like this. But if you haven't, here's a quick recap. Step 1. YouTuber flexes massive results while proclaiming they know the secret strategy to going viral. Step 2. YouTuber explains said strategy they used to go viral. And step 3. YouTuber ends the video by essentially saying YouTube success is not luck, and anyone can do this. But are the strategies these creators share actually legit? And if so, which one should you practically follow if you want to get the best results possible? Well, I decided to do an in-depth study of every how I blew up on YouTube video I could find to uncover the fastest way to actually blow up your views in 2025. So I started out by figuring out which videos I should actually study. Basically, I eliminated any YouTube gurus who didn't share 1, a holistic growth strategy that you could supposedly follow from A to Z to get crazy results. 2, any creators who didn't actually demonstrate or prove that the strategies they taught worked. Or 3, creators who just parroted the same advice as other more successful creators. And funnily enough, after doing this, I went from hundreds of potential videos to analyze to just 14. And this is where things started to get interesting because these 14 really knew what they were doing. It took them an average of 38 days to go from 0 to 1,000 subs, with some of them getting results like 1,000 subscribers in just 14 hours, or even 1 million subs in a month. And after boiling down the advice from these 14 creators, I discovered what seemed to be 8 distinct strategies they use to get crazy results. And so that's what this video is about. Today, I'm going to share and break down these 8 distinct strategies so you can figure out which one best fits your channel and your goals. And we're going to start with the slowest growth strategy, which was illustrated really well by Chad Bartlett. Now, Chad is a seasoned affiliate marketer and YouTuber, but a while back, he decided to start a brand new channel from scratch with a simple goal: to create another income stream and prove that it is possible, even for beginners, to start and succeed on YouTube today. So how did he do it? Well, he created a new trading channel called Chad Trades, and then he began coming up with video ideas via a simple search-based strategy. I'll leave a link to Chad's video down below if you want to go over this in depth, but essentially, Chad went to a tool called vidIQ, which I'll also link below. He would go to this keyword search tool, and then he'd type in broad topics that related to his niche, so like day trading, for example. And then when the results came up, it seems like he would look at 2 main metrics. First, search volume, and second, competition score. And essentially, he would try and find keywords that had the highest search volume possible, but also had a very low competition score. On top of that, he'd also use this related keyword section to find popular sub keywords like day trading for beginners or day trading mistakes, and then run the same search volume versus competition analysis I just talked about. And after finding his list of keywords, he would create videos around them, and he started by posting about 1 video a week. Now, his first 2 videos got a modest 50 to 100 views. But then things really started to take off with his 3rd and 4th videos. They got 32,000 and 18,000 views. And then basically from there, Chad just doubled down on the successful topics. He started creating more content around the same topics, but would just make slight variations to his hook, his title, or his thumbnail. And speaking of thumbnails, Chad did experiment with a thumbnail creation software called PhotoJet, but then he went to Fiverr to get his professional designs, and he spent about $10 per thumbnail. But that's how Chad got people to click on his videos. How do you actually get them to continue watching and then subscribe? Well, to do that, you need to stand out. And Chad did this by putting a really big focus on sharing his personal lessons, stories, and journey within his videos. And because of this, a lot of viewers found him more relatable and authentic than his competition. But the moment you're waiting for, what kind of results can you get with this strategy, or more specifically, what results did Chad get? Well, it took Chad around 93 days to reach his first 1,000 subscribers. But what's cool is if you're in a niche like Chad's, you can actually start generating money outside of YouTube AdSense pretty quickly. Chad didn't share his exact numbers, but he alluded to doing pretty well through selling his digital products on his channel, which he did by first converting his viewers into email subscribers. So basically, he'd offer them something free in exchange for their email address, and then he would sell his products to them through email. And a rough industry benchmark is you could be earning roughly $1 to $2 per active email subscriber. So that means if Chad converted 500 or 1,000 people from his YouTube channel to his email list, he could be making a couple of grand a month just from that. So all that being said, based on my experience on YouTube, would I recommend a search-based strategy like this to a complete beginner who wants to blow up in 2025? Well, I personally think a search-based strategy is ideal for small, beginner, educational YouTubers who don't mind slower growth trajectory in the beginning, but that will be a bit more consistent over time. Personally, just based on the results I've observed from other creators, I do think Chad got lucky a little bit, as in he found a video that clicks earlier than maybe most people do. But I do think you can get results like Chad's. It just might take the average person a little bit longer. But if you stay consistent, it could pay off, because in Chad's case, if we have a look at his new trading channel, it actually has over 40,000 subscribers now. And it looks like he's ditched his main channel to focus more on this trading channel, which I guess would be a testament to how successful it is. And so for those reasons, if I was to rank a search-based strategy like Chad's on a YouTube growth strategies tier list, I would probably put it in B tier. But this is far from the only growth strategy we uncovered, and we'll be ranking all of them, by the way, because I want to move on to strategy number 7, which was perfectly illustrated by Ed from Film Booth. Now, like others, Ed set out with a very clear goal: to create a brand new channel and get it as monetized as quickly as possible. But he went about achieving that goal almost in the exact opposite way to how someone like Chad would have. So instead of trying to find keywords that would show up in search, Ed tried to create content that the algorithm would promote to viewers on their homepage without them actually needing to search for it. To do that, he looked for what's called a gap in the market, a topic that not many people are covering, but that many viewers would like to watch videos on. Now, uncovering a gap in the market can be a bit tricky. Ed went about it by essentially reflecting internally on what kind of videos he would want to watch. Then he checked the niche and realized there's no one really creating these kinds of videos, which he believed indicated a gap in the market. But just identifying a gap isn't good enough. You actually have to create content that is highly clickable and watchable so that you get the algorithm to then promote that content, especially if you're a new channel. And so to make that happen, Ed spent a lot of time developing what's called viewer avatars. Essentially, he would sit down for hours and try to put himself in the shoes of his ideal viewer. And then he would write down everything he could about them: their gender, their age, their desires, their fears, their pains, their goals, and a whole bunch more, until he had a very clear picture of who it was he's actually creating videos for. Now, putting yourself in someone else's shoes can actually be quite difficult, but for Ed, it was a bit easier because he was the person he was creating videos for. Like, the previous version of himself was his avatar. Then it was just a matter of brainstorming video ideas that he thinks his avatar would most want to watch. Keywords or searchability did not enter this brainstorming process at all. Now, to do this properly, you actually have to be pretty thorough about it, and all of this took Ed about 4 days. And then he finally created and posted his first video. Now, the video did pretty good. He got 200 views in the first 2 days, and then peaked at around 500. But that's not going to be anywhere near enough to get monetized quickly. So Ed tried with another video pretty quickly after, just 3 days later, in fact. But that video tanked even further. It only got 20 views. And so Ed then posted a third video, and that one didn't get many views either. But then 12 days later, something happened. The video started getting recommended. Excited, Ed posted a fourth video on a very similar topic to his previous video that did well, and it got picked up by YouTube in just a few hours and started getting views. And so he then doubled down and posted a fifth video on the exact same topic, but obviously different content titles and thumbnails. And that fifth video ended up getting nearly 50,000 views in just 2 months. Now, we'll fast forward this next bit a tad, but essentially Ed just kept posting more videos and really closely analyzing what topics performed well, trying to double down on those. And he also stressed really focusing on his returning viewers analytic, which you can find by going into your analytics tab and then going across to audiences and then going here, which will show you how many people come back to your channel after they find one of your videos. And from Ed's video, it seemed like his number one metric, aside from actually getting views and subs, was getting his return viewers stat as high as possible. And so if we fast forward 6 weeks, Ed is 16 videos in, and finally, this happened.
So YouTube had just emailed me and told me that I'm monetized, which is great because I only started my channel 6 weeks ago. Here's my watch time. I'm kind of shocked.
And just another 6 weeks later, he made nearly £300 from his channel and actually started getting emails from brands who wanted to sponsor his channel. So with all that being said, would I recommend a viewer avatar focused strategy if you're a beginner who wants to grow as quickly as possible? The problem is, for a lot of us, I would say myself included, it can be hard to pull off. See, firstly, this all hinges on you being able to identify a real gap in the market, which can be something that research can help with, but it also requires a decent amount of intuition as well. It can also be a tricky strategy if you are not your avatar, because you have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of someone else and empathize with all of their desires and challenges and struggles accurately enough that you can create videos that they would immediately want to click on when they see them. Which I know is something that I personally am not very good at. I guess I'm just a cold-hearted, non-empathetic man. And so long story short, I do think it is a very good strategy, but I do think it's tricky for some people to pull off. And so for that reason, I can't put it in S tier, but I will put it in A tier. So what kind of strategy would go in S tier and really blow up your channel in 2025? Well, let's go to our next strategy on this list, which is illustrated really well by a guy named Wano. Now, Wano is pretty famous in the YouTube community on Twitter, and he's posted over 1,500 videos in his YouTube career. But he decided he wanted to take on a new challenge, publicly build a new YouTube channel and blow it up with just one video. So how the heck did he plan on doing that? Well, Wano's strategy revolves around what he calls a video recipe. Essentially, each video can be broken down into key ingredients, just like a food recipe. Some of the main key ingredients Wano stressed are personality traits, humor, expressions, energy, identity of the characters, tone, the style, visual branding, and how entertaining the video actually is. And to blow up his channel with just one high effort video, Wano essentially set out to create a unique blend of all of these factors so that his video would be so unique and enticing that a lot of people would want to watch it. And as if blowing up a channel with one video isn't enough, Wano decided to do all of this, or at least as much as he could, using AI. So he first set out by finding a video idea that he thought had potential, and he doesn't really elaborate much on his process here, but based on the video itself, which is how Japanese housewives outsmarted global finance, we can tell that it definitely isn't a search-based strategy. So my guess is Wano essentially tried to identify trends or patterns to help him decide what kind of video to make. Now, one thing Wano also stresses is trying to create a video that is broad and general enough that a lot of people would want to watch it. So for example, Wano's video about the Japanese housewives who outsmarted global finance. It's actually about how Japanese housewives used Forex trading in a really smart way. But notice Wano didn't say anything like how Japanese housewives used Forex trading to outsmart global finance. He kept it kind of more vague and general. And the reason for that is because if you are trying to go for one of these like one-hit wonder videos and you go too specific, especially on a channel that doesn't have any previous like viewing history, it's probably going to be hard for YouTube to find the right niche of people who understand, for example, what Forex trading actually is and who would be interested in clicking on a video like this. And this is one of the reasons why creators like MrBeast, for example, keep their videos extremely general and high level so that anyone who sees them, regardless of their life experiences or age or background or what have you, will understand the concept and hopefully be enticed enough to click on it. So once Wano found the idea, he wrote as much of the script as he could in ChatGPT. He also then used a software called 11 Labs to do an AI voice narration for the video. And then he created the thumbnail using a combination of Midjourney and Photoshop. But from there, he needed the editing to actually be done by a human. And because he was going for a viral one-hit wonder video, he needed things to be perfect. So he spent over $2,000 editing this one video. And so now not only was he investing his time and reputation into this channel, but the stakes were even higher because if he failed, he's lost $2,000 for nothing. But Wano trusted his expertise and turns out he was right. While it was very slow to grow in the beginning, it blew up on day 30, generating him over 1,000 subscribers. And just 30 days later, it had racked up over 1.8 million views. So with all that being said, would I recommend this high effort, high reward sort of viral one-hit wonder strategy? Well, for some people, it's great. So it can be done. If you've watched some of my other videos, you might know that I've even used this strategy on another channel that I douchily flex across my videos to prove that I have a shred of credibility. But I do think you should follow this with extreme caution, especially if you're a beginner. Creating a video that's good enough to go viral and blow up a brand new channel all by itself takes a significant time and sometimes money investment. And as a beginner, putting all of your eggs into that one basket, I don't think it's worth it. I think it's too risky. So even though Wano's results were incredible and very lucrative, realistically, because of how risky it is for someone who doesn't have a bucket load of YouTube experience and credibility, I would probably put this strategy in D tier. So we're still yet to find a strategy that's going to crack the S tier marks. Maybe it'll be our next one, which is illustrated pretty well by Bruno Kay. Now, Bruno took a sort of artistic approach. He essentially just created videos around what he personally found interesting. And even though he wasn't really relying on much research and was kind of going out on a limb, he put a lot of effort into his videos.
6 years ago, on March 25, 2016, one of the fastest growing creators on the platform gave advice on how to be successful on YouTube.
Now, the first video he uploaded was this one. Which unfortunately for him was a harsh reminder that just because your video is high quality doesn't mean the idea is going to be interesting enough for people to want to click on it. And so based on the learnings from his previous video, he created this one, which was how YouTube changed from quantity to quality. And within 5 days of posting this, YouTube found the right audience for it and it got over 30,000 views. And on that same day, he then posted this video. And in 3 weeks, this video had over 50,000 views. And Bruno continued with his channel in this same strategy, trying to learn something from each previous video and make each new one better than the last. And 1 year later, he had 14,000 subscribers and over 800,000 views. So would I recommend the strategy of creating high quality videos around topics that you personally find interesting relatively frequently? I do think that this can actually be a good strategy for beginners, especially ones who are trying to learn on their own. Because if you're trying to make high quality videos, make each one better than the last, and you're able to post at a higher frequency. For example, Bruno posted 3 high quality videos in roughly the first 2 weeks. It's a great way to learn and hone your content creation skills while spending a lot of time researching or brainstorming your niche. So even though I think it's not the fastest way to grow your channel, if I'm speaking to a complete beginner who wants to teach themselves YouTube, I think this is a decent one to follow. Now, if there was a category between A tier and B tier, this is probably where I'd try and put this on, but just because of how freaking simple it is, I'm going to put it in A tier. Now, next up, we have a strategy exemplified by MoMike, who set out to answer a very big question.
Is reaching 100,000 subscribers just luck or all skill?
And he knew that to reach 100,000 subs quickly, long form videos is a bit of a gamble. So to reach 100,000 subs, he focused on viral shorts, specifically ones targeting one of the largest audiences on YouTube, kids. So basically, he found this style of short that was doing well. And what I mean by that is there are a handful of other channels that were relatively small that spammed out a bunch of these videos and grew very, very quickly, indicating that, hey, there's something objectively interesting about this type of content. And Mike felt that even though there was some competition, based on how quickly those other channels were growing, there was still a lot of viewers who would want to watch a lot more of that content if they were able to. And so he set out to satisfy that additional demand. Now, the videos he found were videos about this viral slushy cup product, which based on how much I'm sweating, thanks to the Australian summer and me not being able to use my aircon because it f***s with my mic, I think I could use one of those right now. Now, Mike's goal was to put out a lot of these videos, but he knew that he couldn't spam right off the bat. So he started out by posting just 1 short a day, and slowly he increased his posting schedule to 4 to 5 shorts per day. But where Mike's secret and debatably unethical source came in was how he supercharged engagement on those shorts. Essentially, he told people to
subscribe, like, and watch 3 times.
Oh, so if I do that, I can get one too.
Yes, I say that in all my videos.
And it worked. He got an insane amount of engagement. And by insane, like, let me just list out his growth strats. Day 1, 7 subscribers. Day 3, 193 subscribers. Day 5, 1,000 subscribers. Day 9, he had 30,000 subscribers. By day 10, he had 50,000 subscribers. By day 25, he had 1 million subscribers. And at the end of his challenge on day 30, he had 1.18 million subscribers. Also, around 50 million total views. He was able to monetize his channel about halfway through that, and he made $2,400 from. And he also set up a dropshipping site to sell the slushy cup he was making videos about, from which he made
$934.62 in sales, which comes out to around $460 in profit.
So even though these are crazy numbers, would I recommend a viral kids focused shorts channel if you want to grow in 2025? Well, look, there's no question this strategy works. For example, honorable mention, Daniel Bitton used a very similar strategy, and he managed to hit 1,000 subs in 21 days, and by day 70, he had 100,000. But the big problem with this strategy is you're very limited with the type of content you're able to create. There's only so many viral shorts ideas for kids that you're probably actually going to find meaningful and interesting to create. But also, even if you don't give a crap about actually being like a creative creator and you just see YouTube as a means of making money, it's not even a good way to do that. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, $2,000 in a month is pretty cool, but you can see how disengaged his audience is in just purely by the fact that he got over 50 million views and yet he only made about $460 worth of product sales. I literally have students in my course right now, and this isn't a plug, but they literally have 400 subscribers and they've made nearly $50,000 just because those 400 subscribers are highly valuable individuals. And so because of all of that, like, yes, this is pretty easy and methodical strategy to follow, but it's really not a meaningful or good long-term one in my personal opinion. So I would put it in C tier. So we're yet to find a strategy that has made S tier, but our next strategy was actually illustrated by probably the most famous creator on this list.
What's up, gamers? How's it going?
Now, Ludwig set out to prove that YouTube was all skill and not luck. And to do this, he wanted to create a new channel without using his face, name, or voice. The plan was simple: to create a mini video essay style video about the popular Twitch streamer Mizkiv, titled "How a Door Made This Man $1 Million." So he created the video, he paid someone on Fiverr to do the voiceover so no one knew it was him, and then he went to post the video. But to make the video get a lot of views, he had a little trick up his sleeve, because he realized the easiest way for this video to get views was to get Mizkiv's fans to watch it. So he posted the video in Mizkiv's Reddit from an anonymous account. And then he also used anonymous accounts to spam it in Mizkiv's Twitch chat. But this is where things went a little bit sideways. He didn't get noticed at all. Frustrated, Ludwig decided to take it up a notch. In a Hail Mary move.
All right, I'm gripping it. Oh, I hope this works. Otherwise, it's such a waste of 50 bucks.
Okay. Wait, it's got 50 bucks.
I titled
Someone
it
called you the biggest streamer in the world?
Easy Bait.
How a door made the streamer $1 million.
Okay, he's hooked. He's hooked. He's hooked! Oh! Yes!
It actually paid off. Mizkiv clicked on the video, watched it, and loved it live on stream. And suddenly the views started pouring in. In just 4 days, Ludwig's channel got 11,000 views and 1,000 subs. Now, this method is often called authority hacking. And would I recommend authority hacking in this way to blow up a new channel? Well, I do think creating content that doesn't revolve around people needing to know you or your personality is useful. And one way to do that is to create content around things that objectively have a lot of attention around them. There are two problems here though. If you're not able to interject your personality significantly within these types of videos, you're just going to attract a lot of people who are interested in the person you're creating videos about, and they won't stick around or watch your videos. The other thing is there's no guarantee of these videos blowing up. Remember, Ludwig essentially bribed Mizkiv to watch it by donating in his stream chat. And even then, there was no guarantee that Mizkiv would have actually watched it. He could have just said, thanks for the donation and moved on. So because of this, if I was giving you advice, I would put this strategy and how Ludwig went about it in D tier. Now, next up, we have a pretty crazy strategy. In fact, this one officially broke a Guinness World Record. So a YouTuber called The Tech at Realm set out to
get 1,000 subscribers on a brand new YouTube channel in 1 day. I'm the YouTube world record breaker.
Now, this was going to be no walk in the park, at least you'd think not. On paper, the strategy was actually pretty simple. The Tech at Realm set up a brand new channel, started a live stream with a desperate, I literally won't stop streaming until I reach 1,000 subs title, and just started streaming. The hours ticked by, and in the first few hours, he only gained around 15 subs. But then something happened.
Okay, so a little bit of an update. I'm really excited because it's only been like 2 hours since my last, since the last time I recorded, and just check it out. So, the stream actually somehow ended up, it's going like viral right now. I have no idea why.
And not long later, on hour 14, the Tech Realm officially hit 1,000 subscribers. So, do I think you should close this video right now, go start a I won't stop streaming until I hit 1,000 subs live stream and roll in your winnings? Well, a couple of things. Firstly, I'm not saying that he cheated, but also it does seem a little bit suspicious that his stream just kind of blew up out of nowhere like that. Now, we do know that he's a successful YouTuber, and it's possible he could have just plugged his own stream. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he didn't do that. Just think about the kind of people who are actually going to be attracted to a stream like that and want to subscribe. They're subscribing just for the hell of it, for the memes. They don't actually care about you as a creator or the videos you're going to make. So chances are, even though you might have 1,000 subs after this, you're still essentially going to have a dead channel. And so all that being said, even though it was a creative idea, this strategy belongs all the way at the bottom of the tier list. And that brings us to our last strategy. I think Fabio Morena is a great person to illustrate this because he had a pretty ambitious goal.
Firstly, we need to gain at least 10 million views, completely organically, meaning we can't use paid ads or promotion. Next, the channel needs to generate at least $10,000 in ad revenue by the end of the challenge. Finally, the channel needs to be faceless.
Now, Fabio went about finding a niche and video ideas pretty methodically. Basically, he would look for small channels that were getting a lot of views, and then he would look for patterns between the types of topics and formats that were doing really well on those channels. And if a topic or format goes really viral on a small channel and no other big creators have jumped on it, chances are if you create a video like that, you could get results like that too. Or at least that's the plan. Now, Fabio specifically came across a channel called This, and inspired by it, he decided to create his own science channel called Tube. And he set out to create his first video about
why do knuckles crack.
He used ChatGPT to write his script, he used a voiceover from Fiverr to narrate it, and he put quite a bit of effort into the editing. To the point where about 60 days in...
This challenge is not really working out. So it's been about a month and we've only uploaded another 2 videos and we're at 380 subscribers. See, the problem is that these videos take extremely long to produce. From the scripting, to the voiceover, to the editing.
And that was where he decided to quit. Yeah, he actually quit. He decided to quit because doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. And so he quit his science videos, looked for another viral outlier type of content that was doing well, and he found
a winning idea. Brain rot content.
He also decided he was going to create two separate channels, one for English and one for Spanish. And instead of starting a new channel from zero, he decided to purchase someone else's channel.
We're not really cheating, but we kind of are. I get it. If you're mad that I'm buying a pre-monetized channel, I get it, but...
So he bought a monetized Spanish channel, Calma, for $950, and then an English channel for $1,900. So technically, since he bought channels, he went from 0 to over 1,000 subs in which is why this strategy is technically the fastest growing strategy and the last one on the list. But the results he generated after that might actually surprise you. See, despite getting 2 copyright strikes, Fabio continued posting brain rot content on these channels. I was inspired by other breakout outlier videos he saw, and he did it consistently. And these are the results he got. So his English channel got 2.3 million views and generated him around $1,000 in revenue. And his Spanish channel, and this is interesting, generated him 13.2 million views and over $14,000 in revenue. So he posted 41 videos, which all up cost him $8,200, and his actual profit from these channels ended up being about
$4,292, baby!
Which I think most people would say is a win. But is finding viral breakout videos and modeling them a good way to succeed? Well, look, the way Fabio went about this was a little bit... Firstly, brain rot content is not really everyone's idea of being a content creator. Also, he bought channels, which I think is a little bit shady when it comes to YouTube's terms and conditions. However, if we overlook some of the nuances in Fabio's specific case and just look at the strategy of consistently posting high-ish quality long-form videos inspired by other smaller channels that have posted videos that have blown up like crazy, I think that right there is a very practical and beginner-friendly strategy. And so even though most of you shouldn't expect the kind of results Fabio got because of the type of content he created, the fact that he bought channels, his team, etc., I do think you can get some pretty impressive results if you actually put in the work and stick with this. And by the way, that's not just for faceless channels like Fabio's. This is for personal channels, business channels, long-form creators, or short-form creators. Really any type of channel out there. And so for those reasons, I personally think this strategy belongs in A tier. And so now we've gone over all 8 strategies. Which one would I personally recommend and follow if I was a beginner trying to blow up in 2025? Well, look, I have respect for every creator on this list. They've achieved results on YouTube that most people can only dream of. But for me, the strategy of finding small channels that are going viral, analyzing the topics and formats they're using to go viral, and then using that to inspire my own content, while posting relatively frequently, so ideally 1 to 2 times a week, but still maintaining as high quality as I can, is probably giving you the best shot at getting views and subscribers as quickly as possible, while still doing it in a way that you're gonna have a loyal audience at the end of it. And even though technically this is the same strategy used by Fabio, I would probably go about executing this strategy a bit differently. So if you'd like to see how to go about growing your channel with this strategy, without the team, without necessarily being a faceless creator, without buying channels, and without creating brain rot content, I'll leave a video somewhere up on screen, and I'll show you step by step how I've used this strategy to blow up many channels, even if they're starting from 0. I hope you found this video useful. It took a lot of time to research. All creators mentioned will be linked down below, and I'll see you in the next video.